Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Pepe, seeing what's going on, helping understand best practice, big picture. We're going to jump right in to a previous chart that I drew up here regarding our Fibonacci retracement levels for 0.618. My favorite Fibonacci retracement levels, and if you caught that video from yesterday, you'll know that I expect the price to kind of come down and bounce off of this level, which it did. Now we've got a rejection, of course, here at the same price point of 136, 137, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So just quick heads up, here's kind of what it was looking like. If you can see, we anticipated the price coming down to either A or B, which is a 0.5 or 0.618. And those are common retracement levels. So keep in mind that establishes a higher low in the overall sense of things. So good news is we have a higher low at this point, and we are in a position right now where the price is establishing higher lows still. Okay, so higher low, that's a very positive sign. So we'll draw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels here now that we've acknowledged kind of where we're coming from and kind of see what's going on here now. But generally speaking, for the most part, if the price were to continue higher, we're going to be able to anticipate that as well. Okay, so let's take a look here and see what's going on. Now, if you're new to the channel, help us grow our Twitter community, of course. CryptoCash.tech is a website where you can find all that information. Of course, we do also have a Signals Trading Academy and community where we all learn and grow together, bringing day trades to the community here within the next week. It's going to be awesome. We have about, 10 to 20 signals per week on average is kind of the rough estimate there, versus, maybe a couple of swing trade signals right now because the market is so crazy weird that swing trades are very difficult to manage. You're better off holding for shorter periods of time. So just a heads up on that. Same thing goes with Pepe as well. Obviously, a long-term holder, different story, but if you're swing trading from a low to a high point, you'll get lucky sometimes, but it can be difficult with a lot of these large candle wicks and candlesticks. Cool thing is Pepe doesn't really follow or march to the same beat of the drum as to Bitcoin, right? So it's kind of independent on itself. So you probably could be very successful in that sense. But right now you can kind of see that Bitcoin is trying to push 28.6, 28.5, right in that range, trying to break through that resistance level. We will see what happens. So when it comes to Pepe, what we're going to look at is a few things. First of all, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the standard stuff here. So we got our MACD kind of trying to diverge here. It's not quite there yet, but something to pay attention to. On the horizon here, if we do end up diverging, there's a good chance the price could swing lower and drop possibly below this 82, 83 range, okay? Now keep in mind RSI is starting to taper off too. This is finally a good sign. We like to see this kind of calm down. We want to see it hold above 50 on the RSI. That's an important support level, okay? So important to kind of stay above that level at any time. But for the most part, we're still looking bullish here in the sense of things. I like the fact that we have this ascending type of pattern here as well. It does look like it's primed and ready for some type of breakout soon. It's squeezing itself into a type of a wedge or an ascending pattern. You can kind of see here what that ascending pattern looks like. Oftentimes when it comes up, it's like it's considered a bullish pennant pattern. It's a variant where the price comes up, comes down, and bounces a few times, and then shoots up, continuing the same direction it was in. So we could very well see that happen here, okay? All right, so just something to pay attention to. Nice little bullish pattern there. As far as the 4-hour time frame though is concerned, we're looking pretty much bullish in all areas. We want to maintain above the 20-day set moving average if the price were to pull back down. So keep in mind this will continue up and kind of over. So ideally, in a perfect world, we're going to continue to stay above that. Okay, we'll have a different conversation if that switches below it. It's not like a deal breaker, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. On the hourly, we can see that we are establishing higher lows, as I mentioned before. Nice bounce off that Fibonacci retracement level, previously at 0.618. Now 2.36. Again, those Fibonacci retracement levels will change as you draw out the new charts, of course. But the bottom line here is you can see it working well within the parameters. Holding true there, holding true here so far. And there's a good chance the price will probably bounce from here, but it's difficult to say because the simple fact that we are making lower lows and lower highs on the more recent 12 to 24 hours. Okay, so until that continuation of the downside changes, we need to kind of anticipate it to continue going lower, okay? So for lack of better terms, this will continue to go lower until it doesn't. I know it seems redundant, but that's absolutely the way it goes. And it's kind of working its way down. You could argue that this is a breakout type of pattern too, right? But once again, a lot of different scenarios are going to unfold here, but the key takeaway here is that we want to establish higher lows first in order to see that trend reversal, okay? So we're going to look for higher lows. If this next low can be somewhere in the range of just say 115 or higher, then a continuation of the upside would make a lot of sense, and it could be a strong break to the upside because of that ascending pennant pattern as well as this kind of bullish variant that we're seeing here. Okay, so all signs are pointing up at this point. I'm not super concerned with it retracing right now. It makes sense, but as long as volume can continue, we're going to be in good shape. And we can see that volume has tapered off a little bit. We're now below kind of that moving average. which again, depending on the time frame you're on, will change. But for the most part, there's still a tremendous amount of volume in this coin, so I'm not super concerned there either. But if that volume continues to taper off, the price will go along with it. Obviously, that's kind of just how things go. Volume and volume is a very important thing. Do not overlook it. Quick note here. This is mostly good news, but also not. And what I mean by that is lagging spans in the price action kind of just implies you shouldn't be taking a long position or a short position. You should have closed your position a while ago or trimmed some of your profit. Conversion line is above the baseline. That's positive, but we're also above the cloud. So we've got literally 2 out of 3 things that are fairly positive here. The only thing that isn't positive is a simple fact that we don't have that confirmation that it's going to continue in either direction yet. And that's why this lagging span essentially is intersected, and it's kind of telling us that, hey, you may want to consider taking some profits if you are in the green, because there's a potential, now that it's lost its momentum, that it could continue lower. Okay, so because it should have broken up by now, but it's still moving a lot, right? You think about this percent from bottom to top here, that's like 70%, and that was only in about 8 to 10 hours. Okay, so again, a lot of movements going on here, a lot of volumes funneling through. I think that if the volume can continue to stay the same, and we maintain a price point of 107 or higher, we should be in good shape. If we break below, just say 98 and start trending towards 83, I think we're going to be in a difficult position there where we might see lower lows continuously. Just keep in mind, we do have a support level here in this range. You can see a lot of volume before the price broke out right here at this point. So you can see this kind of ascending pattern where the price comes up and broke to the upside. That's a very standard procedure. Okay, so last thing to note here is just take a quick look at the volume. Once again, most amount of volume is in this area. So we do have a decent amount of support. The price comes down there. There could and should very well be a bounce, but I wouldn't be surprised if we retest that level. I just think that at this point, if we continue to maintain higher highs and higher lows, we're going to be okay. But I'm going to look for higher lows first and to be able to maintain a price point above 50 on the RSI, more specifically in the 4-hour. Okay, I'm more interested in the 4-hour here. If we see a divergence and bounce off 50, that could work. But generally speaking, those are things I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Okay, so hopefully this is working well for you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for joining us. If you can, of course, become a either community member, become some part of something greater, or just help us grow our Twitter community here. Really, really appreciate that. Like, follow, retweet, the whole 9 yards there, and essentially get us a little bit more on the map there, because YouTube is one thing, but Twitter is a whole other ballgame where we can actually communicate and work well and more effectively with our potential members, community members, YouTube followers, whatever the case is. Greatly appreciate you watching nonetheless. All right, don't forget to thumbs up and like and all that good stuff here too. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.